yonder hill. Down in that little valley is where I'm bound. With a couple of my buddies, where my old tree stand can be found. It's the red dirt roots in me. I'm as backwoods as I can be. I say yes sir, I say yes ma'am, and I'm proud to be who I am, and this country life is all I'll ever lead.
Your hosts, Perry Faulkner, Kenneth Whitehead, and Dusty Treadaway. Welcome you to Red Dirt Roots. Red Dirt Roots Outdoors is presented by Caney River Custom Calls. Let's raise some cane. On today's show, we're going to show you how to do a slam dunk fishing trip. And then we join Kenneth Whitehead as he takes a group of young soldiers on a never-forgotten hunt with Brad Allback of Allback Adventures on the very last day of duck season.
Hello, I'm Brian Lunsford, and this is LCSI Concealed Storage. This is our furniture. We're a family-owned business here in southwest Oklahoma. We make quality furniture pieces out of solid wood. All of our furniture has hidden storage in it. Everything locks. Our number one concern is child safety. Once you hear the click, it opens right up, where we take the ordinary to the extraordinary. Hey, like us on Facebook or go to our website, concealedstorage.com. Thank you.
The Fun Boat Store, Oklahoma's #1 pontoon dealership, featuring Avalon and Voyager pontoons, Evinrude, Honda, Suzuki, and Nissan motors. The Fun Boat Store also offers parts service on all boats and motors and a great selection of towables from Southern Marine, WOW, and Sports Stuff. The Fun Boat Store. We sell family fun. Come see us in Norman, Oklahoma on the east side of I-35, just south of Indian Hills Road. Check us out on the web at funboatstore.com.
Well, have you ever wanted to take friends or family on a fishing trip that you were guaranteed to catch fish? Well, we have one that's about as close to it as you can get. On today's show, we're headed up to Gore, Oklahoma, to the trout capital of Oklahoma, to fish below the dam at Kingkiller in the lower Illinois River. We had a young man named Jesse that Dusty and his family had taken camping for the first time, and they were going to go fishing. I was going to meet him on Sunday after they'd been camping on Saturday and fishing. When I arrived late Saturday night, I found out the fish where they were at just weren't biting. They'd only caught a couple of fish. We got up the next morning, same situation, fish just weren't biting. Had no luck at all, so rather than sit there and not catch any fish, we wanted to make sure this young man had a really fun trip. We were only 20 minutes away from Gore, Oklahoma, and we have a technique that we learned from a guide up in Branson of a way that he had never been skunked for 15 years. But if you want to take some friends and family and make sure they catch fish, this is the very best way I know how to do it. We're going to show you exactly how it's done later on in the show. First, we're going to show you some of the fishing that we did. Well, if you've never been to the trout stream at the lower Illinois below the Kingkiller Dam, it's a beautiful area. It's a great place. There's lots of access, so it's easy to take family and friends, even small children. There's lots of access no matter what their physical condition is. They can always get down to the water to fish. There are many places where you can just drive up, step out of your car and walk a few feet and you're at the river's edge. Also, since you no longer have to buy a trout stamp if you've got a fishing license, you have no other expenses as far as license, and you're allowed to keep 6 trout a day per person. Hey, grab my pole. Hey, Jesse, grab my pole. It's running off. No, he's got a fish. I see it. He's got a double now. And that's what happens when you're trying to film and fish at the same time. That's got another. Got a triple. Now, when we first started, Jesse wasn't completely sure about this technique. Now that Jesse had seen us catching some fish, he was starting to have a little more confidence in the technique, and it wasn't long before he had one on his very own pole. Jesse, is that your first trout? Hang on to it. Got him? They drag him up on bank. That line will break. Got that on video.
That's a bigger fish, Perry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice one. It's
It looks like a bass. It is a bass.
Yeah, who was it asking if there's other kind of fish in here?
Me.
Turn around, Dusty, where you this way. Now, when we come back, we're going to be joining Kenneth Whitehead as he takes some soldiers out on a never-forgotten hunt. And later, we'll tell you exactly how we're catching these fish so you can go do it yourself.
Is pain stopping you from doing the things you enjoy? Let award-winning Dr. Andrew Brigham help improve your quality of life so you can fulfill your purpose. Dr. Andrew Brigham empowers you to take control of your health through education, inspiration, and cutting-edge treatments. Call Pure Health at 1-918-994-4810 or on the web at nomorepainok.com. Transform your life and achieve pure health.
Since 1978, Bill's Sporting Goods in Claremore has been the place to go for all your hunting and shooting needs. Bill's Sporting Goods carries a full line of guns, archery, black powder, optics, reloading supplies, and all related accessories. When you buy a bow from Bill's, your setup is free. We tune all bows and refletch arrows. Also, we mount and bore sight scopes. During these times of high demand, Bill's Sporting Goods has kept prices low. Come visit us on Highway 66 in Claremore.
Now, our very own Kenneth Whitehead has made it his personal mission to show his appreciation to soldiers who've come back who've earned a Purple Heart. In a program he calls Never Forgotten, Kenneth has been using his call company to make calls, a very unique call for these men and women, and taking them out on some hunts. What started off as a one-time thing has actually grown into a complete program, and through his friends such as Brad Allback, he sets up hunts for these men and women. He also has a program in which he makes a special call, which he's going to tell you about later, for many of these soldiers when they've earned a Purple Heart.
Kill that pintail! Kill that pintail! The reason why I called that because you said, I want a pintail tonight, Brad. That's the only reason why I called it. There you go!
There he goes. Poof!
Kill him!
Two.
No, we got four. Okay, look at coming at us.
Well, the hunting that day was tough. Unseasonably warm weather never helps duck hunting. But one thing you can always count on is Brad Allback will deliver. Well, it was quite an honor to be hunting with these soldiers. Spirits that were great. They joked around all morning when the hunting was a little rough. They were a bad luck crew. At one point, Brad said, well, how bad of luck are you? One young man, Michael Cope, sat up and said, I've been blown up 6 times. You'll meet that young man in just a moment.
Let it be a fact that Brad Allback had not get scoped, even though with a bad luck crew. I still kill him.
I was looking for it. I shot one time.
Well, Red Dirt Roots is truly honored also to have Kenneth Whitehead as a part of our crew. He does a great job in the service he does for these soldiers.
I want to thank Brad Allback of Allback Adventures for putting us up for this hunt today. And we've got a bunch of soldiers and friends here, but I want to pay special tribute to Michael Cope. He's a Purple Heart recipient. And this right here is off of Never Forgotten. And it's a letter of certificate with my signature sealed so that it can't be forged. This wood here is off the deck of the USS Batfish, and it was on the deck of the ship of the boat during the bombing of World War II. The Commander-in-Chief of the Veteran Administration gave me this wood specifically for the purpose of making a special honor to Purple Heart recipients. And Michael Cope, I want to present this to you. From Cane River Calls, thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
That's cool. And I hope I never have to make another one, but I got enough if I have to.
I hear you there.
Hey, break the glass. Let's blow it.
Okay, we just finished up our last waterfowl hunt for 2014. I'm here with Brad Allback Adventures. Brad, thank you very much.
Enjoy it. How'd you like the air show?
Oh, it's beautiful. They're still coming. I mean, there's, as far as you can see, is birds. It's amazing.
Well, Brad is not only a great guide, but he's also a lot of fun to hunt with. If you want to book a hunt with Brad, give him a call. He'll fill up fast.
Hello, I'm Brian Lunsford, and this is LCSI Concealed Storage. This is our furniture. We're a family-owned business here in Southwest Oklahoma. We make quality furniture pieces out of solid wood. All of our furniture has hidden storage in it. Everything locks. Our number one concern is child safety. Once you hear the click, it opens right up, where we take the ordinary to the extraordinary. Hey, like us on Facebook or go to our website, concealedstorage.com. Thank you.
Well, if you didn't already know, our friends over at Concealed Storage had a fire in their production facility. Now they need space in their storage area to keep their equipment while they're rebuilding their shop. So you can help them out and help yourself to a big discount. Check out their Facebook page for the current discount on their beds. And now it's time to head back down to the trout stream, and we'll also let you know exactly how we're catching these fish so you can go and do it too. Now, just to show you that this technique works whether the water's down or the water's up, we went back a few weeks later with a couple of friends of ours that you may recognize from some of our earlier shows.
We're back down here below Lake Tenkiller on the lower Illinois River, trying to catch some trout again. Came down here today and they're actually running a lot of water, so we got a pretty heavy current today. It's making it a little bit more difficult. What we're doing is we're taking worms and you pinch them in about half and hook them on a little hook with about a 2-foot leader and a weight. And then we're injecting the worms with air. They make a worm blower, but today we're actually just using a needle, syringe that you can get at a vet supply or basically anywhere. And inject them with air so that they float, that worm will float up off the bottom.
So you can tell how much water there is. You can see this tree right now that's surrounded by water, and see it when we were back there the first time, and see it was completely out of the water. Once again, it does not matter what kind of rod and reel you have or what kind of line you have on it. The key is we take about a 4-foot section of line, no larger than 6 pounds. If it's a heavily fished area, we'll go down to 4 pounds. We'll fold it in half, take the folded end, tie an overhand knot to leave about a 1-inch loop. Then on one end of the free line, tie your hook. On the other end, tie your weight. If we know we're going to be fishing with some children or some people who can't tie their own line, we go ahead and rig up some of these. Before we go, wind them up around a piece of cardboard, and that way we have them all rigged up, ready to go, so we don't spend all of our time tying on hooks and weights. All we have to do is if they break off, we tie one of our rig right back onto their line. This will save you a lot of time. That way you can enjoy the fishing too. Now, people will ask us, why tie on a leader? Why not just use some 6-pound line? Well, you'll see here in some of the underwater videos, the line going down into the water acts like a fiber optic. You will see the light shining down through that line just like a laser beam. Once you tie on and break that fiber optic effect, the line just disappears. And the green line works better than clear line because, as you'll see, almost always in a trout stream, the bottom is green. Now, we inject the air into the worm so it'll float up off the bottom out of the rocks and debris. Or that way it's a lot more readily seen by the fish. It'll wave in the current to give a very realistic look. So you ask, I'm sure, why not just put it under a float or a bobber? Well, the trout's number one predator comes from the air above. Birds are their main enemy. So anytime they see a shadow above them, it scares them. Every time that bobber moves around a little bit and that shadow moves in the water, it spooks the fish away. Now there is one other issue you'll have when you're doing this. I even told the guys when we went out there that this might happen, and it did. People around will see you catching so many fish, the first thing they do is they think you've got a really good spot. So first they'll try to throw over you. Then they'll get aggravated after getting tangled up with you a couple of times because they're still not catching fish. What I always do when I see people and I can tell they're watching us, I'll tell them exactly what we're doing and offer to share our worm blower or our needle. And on our trip that we had, that exactly happened. The gentleman that was standing down from us pretty soon was coming up to use our worm blower.
Pretty good trout here. We came down and we caught a pretty nice little stringer of trout here. We got limit 6, we've got 5 rainbows and a cutthroat. If you're gonna go do any trout fishing, make sure each person has their own stringer. Like I said, the limit's 6 and you've gotta have your name and license number and address attached to your stringer. So make sure you do that so that you don't have any problems with the game wardens or lake patrol.
And now it's time to go back and check on Jesse and see how he's liking the trout fishing. And right here you'll see a perfect example. You'll see the line in the water as a bright white line till it goes down, and where it hits the leader, it disappears. you think, Jesse? You like trout fishing?
Yeah, a lot.
There you have it. That's our secret way of catching fish. Take your family and friends out there that don't watch this show, and they'll think you're a fishing genie catching fish using a worm blower.
Thanks for taking a
Nice
picture.
to meet
See,
you.
hey,
It worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Say it worked, it worked.
No, he's screaming.
It worked.
Now, we at Red Dirt Roots love to go down to this area. And while we're down there, we found a fantastic place to stay, the Blue Door Cabins. These cabins are beautifully decorated. Your wife is going to love them. They have all kinds of activities, including massages. Best of all, they're very reasonably priced. Sure and check them out. Blue Doors at 10killer.com. All right, we had a good time this week fishing down here for trout below the 10 Killer Dam. Be sure and join us next week. Let's try it one more time. Be sure and join us next week for more Red Dirt Roots. You may want to bring a net. These little things are hard to hang on to.
We'd like to thank our sponsors: LCSI Concealed Storage, Fun Boat Store, Spectre Shot, Heartcraft Scooptail Broadheads, Caney River Custom Calls, Duck Whackard Lanyards,
It's these
Air Help,
red
Falcon
dirt
Sling Boats,
roots
and
in
Bill Sporting
me.
Goods.
I'm as backwoods as I can be. I say yes, sir, I say yes, ma'am, and I'm proud to be just who I am. And this country life is all I'll ever lead. It's these red dirt roots in me.
Kenneth, what the heck? Will you get out of the camera?